Hello folks, and welcome. Grace here, and it's spooky season. See how this plays on the lav mic. Hello. Oh, you're so good. You're so good. You're the goodest. You're the most good. Hello folks. Okay. I love Halloween. And unfortunately, to look around my house, you wouldn't really know it. So today, I have decided to make a quick fun project using some yarn I've had for way too long to make a little spooky spiderweb garland. I'm not going to be working off of any particular pattern. I've seen some images online and feel like I have a pretty good general idea of what I'm going to be going for. So we're just gonna jump right in and get going. I was initially envisioning kind of half circle pieces through the garland with spiders hanging down or on the spider web. I had some difficulty with that. I was not able to get the half circles to be half circles. They were more coming down at a 90-degree angle with a curve in between. They were kind of like fat slices of pizza. And so I wasn't really fond of that, and also I didn't want the garland to look wonky when it was hanging because these pieces would have been kind of sitting awkwardly within the actual strand itself when they were hanging. And so I pulled that out and I started again, this time with a triangular shape. I did my initial triangular shaped pennant with five kind of spokes, we'll call them spokes, the straight strands that go through the spider web, and then I added a little bit between each of them so that it got wider towards the top. This was overall a pretty easy pattern to execute. It's part of why I felt so comfortable just kind of winging it. I started off with 5 double crochet into 1 circle, and I extended the size of the stitches between the levels as well as added 1 extra chain stitch. Once I decided on the triangular pennants, I did try going with 6 spokes because I wasn't very fond of the fact that the 5 spokes leaves 4 spots. I thought it would be more pleasing if there were kind of 5 spots within the triangle itself, but that ended up just being too wide and not really looking like a pennant. A pennant is typically a very thin triangle. I pulled that one apart as well and returned back to my 5 spoke pennant flag here. Towards the end, I tried making a spider, again using the same yarn. I realized that the spider was not going to be very visible if it was on the pennant since I was doing black on black. You know, I thought about maybe undoing all of this again and making the spider webs themselves white so that the spiders would be more visible, but I decided against that because who wants white Halloween decor? That's not spooky. We want spooks, and we want them now. So black spider webs it was. I ended up deciding that it would be more aesthetically pleasing to just have this one little spider hanging down. So when I made the spider really quick, it's just a circle with 8 little single crochet strands coming off of it. I did a chain out and then single crocheted back in and then did another leg. I didn't try very hard on the spider, and that's mostly because it was very difficult to see what I was doing, and with this very thick yarn there wasn't going to be a lot of finesse to it, so I just went pretty cartoonish with it. And then I attached all of my little triangles with a single chain. I ever so thematically chose to have 13 chains between each of the pennants. That ended up making it a little too long, which is why it wraps around the end of my shelf here. But I love it. I think it's so cute, and it was so simple. It just took me a couple hours. I spent the majority of my time trying out patterns I didn't like, but once I figured out one I like, it flew by really quick. It always is a little discouraging to think about how much quicker it is to pull crochet apart than it is to put it together, but you know, that's really just something you have to learn is okay. When you mess up, you gotta know when to pull it back. Of course, when you're like me and you're very anxious and want it to be perfect, you can tend to pull things out too much, but that's how you end up with a really good quality product. Not that I would say that this is a very good quality product, but it's exactly the amount of quality that I need from a spiderweb banner. I'm pretty happy with how they came out. The black, okay, the black yarn was not great. I purchased this yarn probably about 8 years ago at a Salvation Army. It was like in a bin in the back with the records, and I grabbed it because it was 35 cents. I grabbed it with a bunch of other ones, and I figured, you know, they might not be the best quality, but I'll definitely find some purpose for them in the future. That was a lie. That was 8 years ago, and it's just been moved around with my stash over the years. It's very scratchy and also very thick. It's a grabby material, and it's not easy to work with, which does not help the fact that it's black. Black yarn is, in my opinion, some of the more difficult yarn to work with, especially if it doesn't have any luster to kind of see where your stitches are. So it feels like you're going blind. You have to get like 2 inches away from the actual stitches to make sure you're going into the right place. This yarn, it didn't help any of that. It's got little kind of frizzy flyaway pieces, and it's very flat. It doesn't have any luster to it, so you can't really see the stitches as well. And so that caused me a great deal of difficulty, but then all of those reasons is why I chose to make a piece of decor that nobody's going to touch, because it doesn't feel good. I wouldn't want to make a scarf or a garment with this. It doesn't feel nice against your skin, and so that's why I ended up using it for decor. Clearly I didn't use enough of it. I'm gonna need to find other things to make with this. I'm really trying to get rid of my stash, but that may be a topic for another video. And, you know, it's pretty clear that that's going to be a big challenge. So overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It used up some yarn that I need to use up and get rid of. It brings a level of spook to my craft room, which before was somewhat lacking. I don't think you guys are going to get to see too much more of it here, since I think this video is going to be going up pretty late in October, but I will get to see it every day this month, and it makes me happy, and that's important. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out, considering I was just flying by the seat of my pants with the little idea of a spiderweb garland to spook up my room. I have had a really fun time today working on this project. I think it brought just the right amount of spooky fun to my craft room. I hope that you guys have had fun. I hope that you will join me again next time. We'll have some nice autumnal projects coming up, so please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you.